Hi, my name is Joe Quintana, and I'm here with high growth knowledge company expert consultant James Shaw. I'm going to be asking James a few questions about exit planning. We here at hgkc know the impact of the pandemic has been felt by many business owners, and that this is prompting some to think about their exit. We want to provide some more information on this. So thank you, James, for agreeing to talk with me.
My pleasure. It's good to be here.
So first things first, why do you need an exit plan?
Clearly, there are all sorts of reasons why one might wish to exit from a business. Everything from age to enthusiasm to actually new opportunities or different opportunities, wanting to go in a different direction. Or, for example, there could be family issues. But I would advocate, and hgkc specifically advocates, that whenever there's a change in direction in a business, it helps to think through a plan.
So what are the different reasons for someone to want to exit their business?
Well, as I've said, there can be all sorts of reasons, but whatever the reason is, the common aspects of having a plan and thinking it through to the end are the same. And in fact, with a particular exit in mind, there are variations. But clearly what one's got to do is to set out the context in which you wish to move forward. So that, of course, requires from the outset to have a defined purpose or outcome, an outcome that you wish to have. And that should be uppermost in the mind of the key planner. And then in order to work towards successful achievement of that outcome, you have to consider a number of factors. And what we always advocate is looking at a best case scenario and a worst case scenario. And hopefully the outcome will be somewhere in the middle, skewed towards the best case scenario.
So when would you suggest you start planning your exit strategy if you're in those positions?
Well, almost immediately. I mean, I think the perceived wisdom is that it can take up to 2 years to actually do everything. Because remember, it's not just you having a plan and actioning the plan. There's all sorts of legal implications. There are HR implications, depending on how many people you employ and what sort of exit you're planning, whether it's a management buyout or a far side sale or whatever it is that you're planning to do. But a lot of people say, well, it's all too difficult and I don't know how to do it, which of course is why you come to or consult people who've been through this and done it and know some of the pitfalls, because believe me, there are lots and lots of pitfalls ahead. But that doesn't mean to say that you don't create a plan, because the wishes of the principal foremost in all of this, but those have to be clearly defined and they have to be written down, because otherwise nobody else knows about them and they can always shift according to the mood of the principal, for example, and that is not helpful in delivering a positive outcome. So you start preparing a plan really as soon as you've made up your mind that you're going to exit. And once you've done that, you need to sit down and consider the various activities, the influences, the future, what you want to do, and then out of that will come an action plan. And then stage by stage, as they say, eating an elephant one bite at a time, you work through the fairly complex issues that need to be worked through. And of course, there's no one size fits all. Every company is different. And therefore, it's up to that company to work out what is best for that company and its employers, and of course its clients. And it goes without saying that many owner-managed businesses, the actual owner wishes to leave a legacy of some description, as in the name or whatever it might be. And therefore, it is important to think through the various issues that allow that legacy to withstand the vagaries of business life and to continue. And that is possible with a sound plan. And I might just add that, of course, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. We all know that. But the whole point about planning is not that you're going to get it right first time, because you very rarely do. But by thinking through the issues, and as I've said, having a worst case scenario and a best case scenario, it should hopefully help you navigate to avoid the serious pitfalls avoid disaster, and come out at the end with a positive outcome.
And then finally, what if you could give one piece of advice to someone exiting their company, what piece of advice would you tell them?
I think the best piece of advice I would give is that when you're actually working at the coalface, it's very hard to step back and look objectively at a situation. And without wishing really to push the hgkc solution, it absolutely does help to have an outside, non-threatening, objective advisor for the principal to bounce ideas off. Because in most occasions, the managing director or owner manager doesn't like to show any weakness in front of the team or whatever it might be. And therefore, to have this sort of objective sounding board to talk things through is absolutely the best way to do it. And certainly in my former career, whenever I had a huge problem which we had to plan a way through, I always kept an individual or a small team aside, away from the coalface, so that they could provide objective advice, looking at the big picture. Because quite often when you're working absolutely up against an issue, some things come from outfield and you just never see them coming because you're never looking for that. So my real advice would be seek external assistance, some objective advisor that can provide that help and advice.
Oh, that's great. Thank you again for your time and your great answers here.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure.
If you're interested in talking to one of our expert consultants like James, get in touch today. Thank you.